Hello, and thank you for joining me for this very short information session about Army ROTC at Western Michigan University. The whole purpose of an Army ROTC program is to make an Army officer. And it's pretty simple. You just sign up for one ROTC class every semester, and when you graduate with your bachelor's degree, you commission into the Army as an Army officer. That is ROTC in its most simplest of explanations. The rest of this presentation will talk about how you get from where you are now to becoming a commissioned officer. So why? Well, let's talk about some of the reasons. So my story is I started on the enlisted route. I joined the military back in 1993 and took my first college class in 1994, and I graduated with my bachelor's degree in 2011. That's how long it took me to do a 4-year degree, because the military just came first. Education was not the priority. But because you're looking to come to college, you can actually put education first and service second with the ROTC program. Because again, you have to have a bachelor's degree in order to be an Army officer. So not only are we going to be invested into your academic success, but we're also going to be there to give you all the skills that you need to be a successful Army officer. There are 3 ROTCs: the Armies, the Navies, and the Air Forces. If you're looking toward the Marine Corps, then you would actually go to the Navy's ROTC program. But the Army is the only one that allows you to compete for active duty or commission directly into our part-time options, which is the National Guard and the Army Reserve. Why that might seem attractive? Let's say you're at Western and you are having a phenomenal internship, and that company's like, oh my God, I love you, I want you to work for us the second you graduate. And you're like, I love you back. I want to work for you the second I graduate. Well, the military service does not need to get in the way. You can actually commission directly into our part-time options from the National Guard or the Army Reserve. Let the Army be your side hustle while you go after your full-time job. For those that are looking to fly, you can actually continue to go after your aviation flight science program here at Western, and your civilian job would be flying fixed wing as your civilian pilot, and then you could work towards getting a National Guard or an Army Reserve aviation officer slate, and you would do part-time flying in the Army doing rotary wing. So this way you can actually get the best of both worlds. You can try ROTC with no commitment. We are the option where you actually get to try us before you want to actually do that commitment. You cannot make a hard commitment to the military through the ROTC program until the first semester of your sophomore year. So if you're considering whether this might be right for you and you want an opportunity to try it out before actually making a commitment to military service, the ROTC program is the perfect way to do that. There is not a basic training requirement to be an Army officer. We are your basic training. So the things that you will learn your freshman year will be some of the stuff that you would learn if you would have went to basic training. So let's talk about those things that you'll be doing while you're in school. So in addition to going after whatever major you want to major in, there's going to be a few things. So you're going to have physical fitness training Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 6:30 to 7:30 in the morning. You're going to have class and lab once a week. So your class is where we teach you those skills. So that's where we'll talk about the Army values, the warrior ethos, rank structure, customs and courtesies, time management, organizational skills. But the lab is where we do the soldier skills, the hands-on stuff. So that's where you'll learn basic rifle marksmanship, land navigation, drill and ceremony, squad level tactics, platoon level movements. All that stuff happens during the lab. Once a semester, we have a field training exercise, and that's where we take the things that we do on campus and we expand on them. So on campus, we will teach you how to use a map. We'll show you how to use a compass. At the field training exercise, you'll do the land navigation course. On campus, we'll talk about basic firing fundamentals, but out at the field training exercise, you'll go out to the range and shoot. And then between your junior and senior year, you'll go to advanced camp. And that's a all-expense paid trip to sunny Fort Knox, Kentucky. And when you come back from your ROTC capstone, you are an officer. And as an officer, you are providing the resources and the supplies to the juniors who actually teach our leadership labs to the freshmen and the sophomores. And you'll see how your level of responsibility increases as you make your way through the program. These are what I call the 4 mandatories. So PT 3 days a week, class and lab once a week, one field training exercise a semester, and between your junior and senior year, advanced camp. Now, if you want to do other things, we have other voluntary opportunities for you. We have study abroad. We're able to send you to specialty schools like airborne school, air assault school. If you're a nurse, we have a nurse summer training program where you can actually go and shadow and do clinicals at an Army hospital anywhere in the world. We have a run club that does the Army 10 miler every year. We have a ruck march club that does the Baton Death March every year. We have a Ranger Challenge team that competes with 36 other ROTC battalions just to use the best of tactics. We have a lot of different ways for you to be involved. It just depends on how dirty you want to get. So let's talk about the commitment after you complete school and you've got your bachelor's degree and you've commissioned into the Army as an Army officer. So that initial commitment is an 8-year service commitment. Now let me explain. No matter how you join the military, whether it's through ROTC or the recruiter on the corner, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, that initial commitment is an 8-year service commitment. Now, how much you serve with the uniform on versus the uniform off will depend on your path. And I'm specifically going to cover ROTC. So if you do compete for and get active duty, you'll do 4 years active duty, and then for the remaining 4 years of that 8-year commitment, you can choose. You can stay active duty, transition into the Guard or the Reserves, or go into the Individual Ready Reserves, or the IRR for short. That's where you take the uniform off. You don't report to the military. They don't pay you, so that's the one of the 4 options where you don't get paid. But if something was to happen and they call you, you have to come back. And the last time we've called people from IRR was 9/11, so it has to be something very significant. They just can't call you back because Jim decided not to come to work that day. If you go into the reserve forces and you are not on ROTC scholarship, you can do 6 years with 2 years in the IRR. Or if you are on scholarship, you'll do all 8 years of that 8-year commitment in service to the Guard or the Reserve. And that's at the 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year you hear about on the TV commercials. So can this help you pay for school? The Army ROTC scholarship covers 100% of tuition. We provide a $420 a month living stipend, as well as $1,200 a year for books. Regardless of what ROTC path you go, Army, Navy, or Air Force, regardless if you're going active duty, National Guard, or Reserves, no ROTC scholarship will cover flight fees. So if you are doing the Aviation Flight Science program, your tuition is covered, but you will still be responsible for your flight fees. Here are the eligibility requirements for an ROTC scholarship, and this is regardless of if you're going after the high school graduation, or the high school scholarship, or if you're already in school and you're trying to do a 2 or 3 year campus-based scholarship. And we'll talk about those a little bit more in the next slide. So depending on your path, or depending on where you're in school, or what your projected graduation date is for your bachelor's degree or graduate degree, here are the scholarship options that are available to you. So if you are still a high school freshman or a high school junior thinking about this, then you would be looking at the National High School Scholarship Board in order to compete for active duty. If you know without a shadow of a doubt you want to go into the National Guard or the Army Reserve, therefore your option is a Minuteman Scholarship. Anything outside of that 4-year option, you will actually work with me through your scholarship process once you sign up for the class. So if you are coming in, if you are competing for the 4-year and you don't get the 4-year scholarship, then we will actually still be able to, your scholarship window is not closed. You can still compete for a 3 or 2-year scholarship once you get enrolled here at the ROTC program. If you are coming into the program late, let's say you're coming in as a sophomore or you're coming in as a junior, definitely reach out to us. There could be scholarship opportunities for you. If you're coming in as a graduate student and you have your graduate program is 2 years, then there's also scholarship opportunities available for you as well. All right, so the 4-year options. So whether it's the National High School Scholarship or the Green to Go or the Minuteman Scholarship, they can provide you either a 4-year or a 3-year AD. A 3-year means advanced designee, so you're starting school knowing that you have a 3-year scholarship that covers your sophomore, junior, and senior year. Now, one of the incentives that Western has is something called the ROTC First Scholarship, which means if you do come to Western with a 3-year AD scholarship, whether it's from the National Board or a Minuteman scholarship, the school, Western, will cover your freshman year, which means that 3-year turns into a 4-year here at Western. If you're on an ROTC scholarship, you also receive a $3,000 housing grant if you're living on campus. Got to be $1,500 in the fall, $1,500 in the spring. You're also considered a military student. So as a military student, you receive priority registration, as well as the ability to apply for the military-specific scholarships that Western has to offer through the Office of Military Veterans Affairs. And then there are cadet-specific scholarships that the ROTC program has that are different from the ROTC scholarship. These are funded by outside donors, and you're also eligible to compete for those as well. So what's next? Well, the big thing is when you talk to your advisor, just tell them you want to do ROTC. If you're coming in as a regular freshman, I'll send out welcome packets after the week of July 4th. And then after that, you'll have all the information you need, and we will see you at Fall Welcome. All ROTC students, regardless if they're on scholarship or not, receive early move-in privileges when it comes to the beginning of the fall semester. So just sign up. Once you sign up, that shows that you are in it, and we will get everything else started for you. If you are not an incoming freshman, then the first thing that you should do is contact our office so we can help you get slotted for the class that you belong into. We have some different opportunities for you to try us out before school starts. We have a summer leadership camp that happens in August of every summer. You can get more information on our website. And we also have Discovery Day. This is where you get to spend the afternoon as an ROTC cadet. It happens in the fall and in the spring when school's in session. It's Wednesdays in Grand Rapids and Thursday afternoons in Kalamazoo. And we have Rappel Day. So we do one Rappel Day every semester, early in the fall, typically around late September, early October. And then in the spring, it's usually mid to late April. And those dates once those dates have been scheduled, they show up on our events site on our webpage. Here's my contact information. If you have any further questions, please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to set up a one-on-one or give you any other information about some of the exploratory events that we have, like our summer camp, Discovery Day, or Rappel Day. Thank you very much, and Broncos lead the way.